The second idea in this fifth module, Be Memorable, is called Tell Stories. Stories are powerful. People remember stories much better than they remember individual facts. You can use stories in interviews to support your claims and really bring your messages to life. So what you need to do is to look at your history and identify stories that you can use to support your strategy and reinforce your messages. It's good if you can identify a fair few to start with and then pick 5 or 6 stories that you're most comfortable with and that you can see will do a great job in making you memorable. The more diversity you can get, the better, and by that I mean try and find a selection of stories that can provide different lenses onto who you are and what you can do. They must be quite brief, as you need to weave these into the conversation, and generally the shorter the story, the easier that is. It can be just a few sentences, or it can stretch for a couple of minutes where you're explaining a bit more about the context, the characters and the situation, but you don't normally want to go longer than that. Once you've selected your stories, then you need to think about the delivery. You need to be concise. So as you rehearse, practice being economical with your use of language. You need to be nice and clear so that it's obvious to the interviewer what point you're illustrating with the story, and for you to know how you're using the story to deliver units of value that are going to strengthen a message. You want to be detailed around the points that matter. What was your contribution? How were you thinking? How did you and other people react to a certain situation? What was the outcome and what did you learn? The more career experience you have, then the greater your resource of stories. But even if you're fairly early in your career or you're a student seeking your first job, you will have stories too. You just need to examine your past and seek them out. Often there's a good story in the smallest event. As with determining your strategy and creating your messages, finding the right stories is not a trivial exercise. But do it well and you'll add another dimension to your interview performance.